Welcome back, everyone. Today's Reddit story comes from Malicious Compliance. It's about a teacher who doesn't take her student, aka the OP's, food allergies seriously. Now let's get into it. It's titled, "You Want to Call My Mom Because I Don't Want to Die? Okay, call her." It's my first time using Reddit, so I apologize if it's not the best formatted. I was recently reminded of a malicious compliance I did as a kid. For context, I have an extreme bad peanut and tree nut allergy. If I eat or touch peanuts or nuts, I go into anaphylactic shock, meaning my throat closes up and basically I'll choke to death. I carry an EpiPen with me at all times because of this. Additional information on this teacher. She hated children, like the type of teacher who yells at kids if they got something incorrectly. For the sake of keeping everything anonymous, I'll call her Miss Idiot and refer to myself as me. With that out of the way, to the story. I was in the first grade, and by this time, I had a good grasp of how bad my peanut and nut allergy was. Always read labels, never eat others' food from home, and that I shouldn't trust someone just because they say, "I don't think it has nuts in it." If you don't know, then don't offer those food to small children who may not know any better. It was the first grade, and I was having fun coloring something on paper, waiting for my teacher. As I was finishing drawing, my teacher got out a fun activity worksheet involving candy. If I remember correctly, it involved counting or something math related. As she was passing out the worksheets and candy, I noticed that they were M&Ms, which I'm allergic to. The interaction went something like this. Me: "Miss Idiot, I can't have these. I'm allergic." Miss Idiot: "They're original M&Ms. They don't have peanuts in them." Me: "But my mom says I'm allergic to the originals too." Miss Idiot: "They're fine. You can have them." To this day, I don't know why a teacher would ever tell a kid with allergies to eat something the kid thinks or knows they're allergic to. Also, while original M&Ms don't have peanuts or nuts directly in them, they're made on the same equipment as peanut M&Ms. This exchange went on for a while, with the idiotic teacher telling me that they're fine and me saying, "No, they're not." I think the teacher actually believed I was purposely trying to annoy her. Miss Idiot: "If you don't start behaving, I'm going to call your mother and you will be in big trouble." Younger me, realizing that my mom was just going to say the same thing, instead of telling her that, I sat there and smiled at the teacher and said, "Okay, call her." I remember wondering why the teacher just didn't believe me. Looking back, that teacher definitely hated being told she was wrong, especially by a first grader. The idiot teacher looked annoyed but smugged, I guess thinking that my mom would yell at me for not wanting to die or have a giant needle put in my thigh and being rushed to the hospital. Now, I don't know the full exchange between my mom and the idiot teacher because this was so long ago and my mom doesn't remember what exactly was said, just that she was extremely angry. I know she tore into my teacher because me and everyone who was present in class could hear my mom yelling through the phone. I think for the first time ever, I saw my idiotic teacher actually nervous. After my mom tore the teacher a new one, the teacher brought me to the corner of the room and handed me a bag of Skittles, which she apparently had the entire time. It sucked being alone for the activity, but I happily did my assignment eating my packet of Skittles, knowing full well my teacher was simmering at her desk, annoyed that a 7-year-old knew better than she did. Later, it was revealed that my mom sent an email to the school's principal, which luckily for the idiotic teacher case was my mom's second draft and had nicer words in it. That teacher had to do a refresher course on allergies by the nurse, which was shown to her already at the beginning of the year. I guess my school was desperate for teachers because she continued to teach at that school even though she had other incidents. As much as I like to say I ate the M&Ms and watched as her career tanked, blowing up like a Thanksgiving Day parade balloon, I did not. As the wise Sid the Sloth said, "No thanks, I choose life." Wow, that's pretty funny. And I'm glad that the OP was okay. But let's see what some of the commenters have to say. First comment says, "Too many people these days don't believe in nut allergies. It scared me, and I don't have allergy." The OP responds, "I was luckily diagnosed at 4 months old, and it was hammered into me as a kid that if I touch or eat peanuts, I could die. Kids can handle the concept of death, and my mom knew this. I didn't live my life in fear. I just knew the consequences and made sure to take the precaution." Another commenter said, "I remember in high school, a close friend of mine has a severe allergy to chocolate, and not just eat or even direct contact, but seconds contact was enough. The school would not let her carry an EpiPen, said it was a weapon. It had to be kept locked in the nurse's office on the opposite end of the campus from the high school. Elementary, middle, and high school were all on the same campus, and the only nurse was in the elementary building 300 yards away from the high school. She got caught keeping one in her bag anyways one day, so from then on, they started to search her bag regularly to make sure she didn't have one. I felt this was stupid because my friend's life could depend on having fast access to it, so she gave me one of her EpiPen, and I kept it in my bag all the time. I was considered a good kid, so the staff never had any reason to search my bag. Then one day it happened. She shook hands with someone who had recently eaten chocolate of some kind, and she went into anaphylactic shock. We weren't on the same class at that time, but I heard the call over the teacher's radio for her EpiPen. I didn't even bother to try to explain why. I just grabbed my backpack and ran down the hall to her class and gave her her spare EpiPen from my bag. I got a 3-day suspension for it, but it was worth it in my opinion. The nurse took another 10 minutes to arrive with her EpiPen from the nurse's office, and another 10 minutes is a long time when you are struggling to breathe. My friend was taken to the hospital, but she was back in school before my suspension was over. My dad wasn't even mad about the suspension. The school was embarrassed about the terrible response time of getting a hold of the nurse, having her to go to her office, get the EpiPen, and then run it all the way to the high school. So later that year, they installed an emergency medical locker in the main office of each building. Students shouldn't have to keep their EpiPen on them, but at least now they were kept in the same building instead of across the campus. Sorry for the wall text. I know I'm not very good at telling stories, but this happened around 2 decades ago, so none of it is really fresh in my mind. If there's a moral of this story, I guess it would be that allergy sucks and schools should do more to ensure the safety of their students. Another comment says, "Not all heroes wear capes. I hope your parents got you ice cream every day of your suspension." Yeah, I hope so too. Since both my kids have food allergies, I've told them early on what they are highly allergic to, and they know what type of reactions they get if they do interact with those food. My oldest, I've told him since he started preschool, maybe even younger, what he's allergic to and what to do if he does have an allergic reaction. I've also told both my kids to tell their teachers that they are allergic to these things. Also, the teachers send forms back to the parents to fill out about any possible food allergies or medication allergies that they have. And I always put down what they're allergic to. My point is that my kids know exactly what to do and exactly what to say if anyone offers some food that they're unsure of what's in it, to basically not to take it. Or to say, hey, I'm actually allergic to A, B, C, and D. And if people are offended or if parents have an issue with it, I always tell them, hey, let me know and I will go ahead and talk to them. I can't believe that in the OP situation that this teacher didn't believe OP for her food allergy. I find that despicable. You're putting a child's life at risk. And I'm glad that she got embarrassed and that hopefully she learned her lesson. And like I said, as a parent now, if something like that happened to my child or my children, I'll be very upset, and I would have done the same thing as the OP's mom and written a very, how should I say, a very stern email to the school. But I have a very good school community, and I know that I probably won't have to resort to that. So that's good news. Anyways, I would love to hear what you guys think about the story. And if you had a food allergy, or if you're a parent whose kids have food allergies, how would you have reacted in this situation? I would love to hear about it in the comment section. And again, if you like these type of stories, leave it in the comment and continue to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.